Vinicius has decided to leave Real Madrid, and it's all down to Xabi Alonso. Chelsea have moved ahead and are now the main favorites to sign Marc-André Ter Stegen. Rúben Amorim is ready to splash out 80 million euros on a Real Madrid midfielder. And Rodri has finally decided his future. We're covering all that and more in today's video. Guys, let's try and hit 350 thumbs up on this one. Your support helps us make even better content for you. Let's get right into the latest transfer gossip. Napoli aren't just happy with Rasmus Højlund's loan. They're ready to hit the accelerator and sign the Dane permanently. According to the Mirror, Manchester United have already given them the green light to make the deal permanent. And this is after it looked like Højlund was completely finished in English football not so long ago. The situation is simple. 2 seasons ago, United shelled out big money for Højlund, bringing him in from Atalanta, but the results were a far cry from what they'd hoped for. Just 14 goals in 62 league games, constant criticism, pressure, and the weight of huge expectations. The Red Devils were looking for a way out, and as soon as they signed Benjamin Šeško from RB Leipzig in the summer, the exit door swung open for the Dane. There were a few offers, but it was Napoli who took a gamble. They signed him on loan with an option to buy, and as it turns out, they hit the jackpot. In Italy, Højlund seems to have been given a new lease of life. Antonio Conte has put his faith in the striker, and he's paid him back with 4 goals in 6 games in all competitions. And these aren't just empty stats. They were crucial goals that helped the Serie A champs get through Romelu Lukaku's injury. Now, with the Belgian set to return soon, Conte has a great option. Højlund and Lukaku up front together. Napoli are so impressed with Højlund's form that they're ready to trigger the mandatory buyout clause in January. And we're talking about a £38 million fee. The amount has been agreed between the clubs, and talks are at an advanced stage. For United, this is obviously a loss, a massive one. But as the source points out, the club is still happy to have the problem solved. They don't see a future for the forward at Old Trafford and would rather just draw a line under it right now. It's an amazing story. A player who was already on the list of transfer flops in England has suddenly turned into a hero in Italy. Napoli don't want to risk it and wait for the end of the season. They see the Dane as a key man for Conte's project and are in a hurry to lock him down. And now the big question is, will this transfer be the second coming for Højlund's career? After all, history is full of players who couldn't cut it in England but became stars in Serie A. Or maybe, just maybe, United gave up too quickly on a striker who was only just hitting his best years. It looks like Vinícius Jr. is genuinely on the brink of leaving Real Madrid. And while this kind of talk used to be just another rumor, it's now a lot more serious. The player himself has basically made it clear his time at the Santiago Bernabeu is coming to an end. After being subbed off in El Clasico, the Brazilian, as he walked off the pitch, said something the media jumped on. "I'm leaving the team, I'm off, I'd better go." Those words were the main headline everywhere. ESPN notes that it was after that game that the relationship between Vinicius and Xabi Alonso completely fractured. The Spanish gaffer, it seems, no longer sees the Brazilian as a key part of his project. It's also being reported that Vinicius has decided to leave Real because he feels underappreciated. His status, his contribution to the club's success as the player sees it, haven't been properly recognized. And this isn't just about football, it's personal. After being taken off, Vinicius had a go at the coach, and according to journalists, Alonso gave it right back. The situation has gone way beyond a simple discipline issue, and as the Spanish media are saying, they might have already passed the point of no return. Mundo Deportivo reports that the club's board and Vinicius's teammates have taken Xabi Alonso's side. At the same time, there's no talk of punishment, and it's unlikely there will be. Real know that would only make a tense situation worse. A key point here is that Vinny's contract is only up in 2027 and hasn't been renewed yet. That means next summer, Real's board will either have to sell him or rush through a new deal. Otherwise, they risk losing him for nothing. There is huge interest in Vinicius, apart from the massive offers from Saudi Arabia, where he's being promised a gigantic contract. There's been talk of PSG, Manchester United, Liverpool, and Chelsea. And while it's easy to picture the Brazilian in a Real Madrid shirt, seeing him in any other kit is a shocking thought. PSG probably don't need a transfer like this right now, but Manchester United is a whole different story. The Red Devils are crying out for a real marquee signing. Rúben Amorim is building a project, but the team needs an icon-level player. Vinicius could be the perfect fit, and the club has the money to meet his wage demands. English clubs are always watching top La Liga players, especially when they become available. Saudi Arabia will obviously offer the most cash, but it's fair to assume Vini will look for a club in Europe first. Now for the most interesting part, Xabi Alonso's stance. From day one at Real, the Spaniard has been building a project based on equality and rotation. No one is bigger than the team. It sounds like a great philosophy, but when your main attacking weapon is being rotated, questions are bound to be asked. Sure, if Alonso wins the Champions League and La Liga, he's proven right. But if the trophies don't come, losing Vinícius could look like a massive strategic blunder. Selling a top-tier player is easy, but replacing one is a different game altogether. Real Madrid have young talents, of course, but will they find another Vinícius? That question is up in the air. Still, it's a mystery what exactly went down between them. Vinícius was a star just yesterday, and today, he's in the shadows and even in a conflict. Too many emotions, too many personal ambitions, and it looks like this is no longer just a player-manager bust-up, but a fight for power and authority in the dressing room. The only question is, whose side are you on? Xabi Alonso, who's sacrificing stars for his philosophy, or Vinícius, who demands recognition and status at a club where he's expected to produce magic, not warm the bench? Write in the comments who you think is right in this situation, and where you think Vinícius could go next. Manchester United's #1 target for next year is 22-year-old Real Madrid midfielder Eduardo Camavinga. The Spanish outlet Fichajes is saying it straight. The Red Devils have pinpointed the versatile Frenchman as the key man to bolster their midfield. And they're getting a specific offer ready. 80 million euros for the France international. Why Camavinga? Man United are crying out for more control and defensive cover in the middle of the park. The Frenchman is the perfect solution. He's not just a player, he's a tool for progress. The team has shown improvement, but as the source rightly points out, they're not yet at the level to fight for the big trophies. They need quality, and Camavinga is exactly that. He's got experience, having won it all with Real Madrid. He's a player who can take United to the next level. Versatility is his biggest asset. He can play in a double pivot, box-to-box, and even at left-back if needed. He's quick, technical, can dribble in tight spaces, and is solid defensively. His world-class potential is not an overstatement. But there's a catch. 80 million euros is serious money. Real Madrid could be tempted, even though Camavinga isn't exactly an essential player for them. For him, it's all about game time. At Real, he's a utility man, but not a guaranteed starter. Guys, don't just watch and run. Your feedback is a massive help for the channel. Smash that like or dislike button right now and drop us a comment. We'd really appreciate it. Manchester United, on the other hand, are offering regular minutes in an ambitious project. A step back? Maybe. But United's project is on the up. Camavinga needs to be playing, that's the key. Amorim is in the middle of a rebuild, and January is just around the corner. United are already looking at their options. Camavinga's contract runs until 2029, so Real are in no hurry. But the Red Devils know what they'd be paying for. An incredible talent who's ready to explode under the right manager. It's important to remember the risks too. Camavinga has had his fair share of fitness problems in recent years. United have to consider that. 80 million euros is a huge investment and it has to pay off. But the potential is there to justify it, if his body holds up. The question is, will United's interest lead to an official bid? Fichajes is talking about a priority target and a specific fee. Camavinga is a versatile talent who could solve United's biggest problem. But will this transfer actually happen? We'll have to wait and see. Rodri and Manchester City are progressing towards a key agreement. According to TBR Football, the club expects to finalize a new contract with the Spaniard before the end of this year. Negotiations between the parties have been ongoing for over a year, but the process slowed down after Rodri suffered an anterior cruciate ligament injury in September. The player wanted to focus solely on his recovery, and only now have both sides returned to active discussions. Today, the situation looks much clearer. Rodri has recovered, is back in the squad, and, according to recent reports, is ready to agree to an extension of his current deal, which runs until 2027. City consider him a fundamental part of their project. And it's no surprise, without Rodri, their midfield literally loses its shape. The club is confident that securing the holding midfielder will not only maintain balance, but also strengthen the core of the team. Sporting director Hugo Viana has only just begun his chapter at the Etihad. In the summer, he completed 7 incoming deals and approved a number of major departures. But now, for him, it is just as important not only to buy, but also to retain those who have already proven their value to Pep Guardiola. Specifically, this concerns not only Rodri, but also Phil Foden. If the club manages to secure both players in the coming weeks, they can then calmly shift their focus to other squad reinforcement tasks. Real Madrid's interest in this story is being officially dismissed. City have no intention of considering pressure from the Madrid club. Negotiations with Rodri are being conducted purely within the logic of a long-term project. The parties are extremely positive, and the contract signing appears to be a matter of time. After a difficult period with his injury, Rodri is close to a return to the pitch. And if City can finalize this deal in a timely manner, they will get not just a player, but a guarantee of stability in midfield for many seasons to come. Only one question remains. When exactly will the club announce the new agreement? The situation between Marc-André Ter Stegen and Barcelona is getting more and more tense. After his surgery, the German keeper has basically been sidelined from the club's plans. Head coach Hansi Flick has made it clear he doesn't see him as his number one. And for a player of Ter Stegen's level, who's now 33, warming the bench is just not an option. Especially when a starting spot for Germany at the 2026 World Cup is on the line. He needs game time, and he knows it, and this is where the Premier League steps in. According to Team Talk, one of the most interested clubs is Chelsea. The London side are actively searching for an experienced keeper to create real competition and put pressure on Robert Sanchez. Ter Stegen, with his immense experience at the very top of the game, looks like a perfect fit. What's more, this whole situation has caused some internal tension at Barcelona. It's reported that Ter Stegen himself was furious at the subtle message that his time at the club is coming to an end. When you're the captain and have given so many years to a club, you take things like that very personally. Of course, Chelsea aren't just looking at the German. Let's not forget about Mike Maignan. The Blues were close to signing him in the summer, but the deal collapsed. January could reopen that door. But back to Marc. What makes him such an appealing option for Chelsea? The Premier League is all about relentless pressing. And having a confident, ball-playing keeper who can start attacks from the back is a huge bonus. Ter Stegen is exactly the guy who could transform Chelsea's build-up play. He's not just a keeper, he's a leader who can organize London's young and growing defense. Now for the most interesting part, how the deal would work. With Marc's contract at Barcelona running until 2028, a permanent transfer in winter is very unlikely. So Chelsea will probably be looking at a loan deal. It's a move that makes sense for everyone. Chelsea could get involved, especially if a short-term deal is on the table. So what's the bottom line? Ter Stegen's loan to Chelsea could be one of the biggest stories in January. Whether the deal gets done will depend on the finances and guarantees of game time. But the logic is crystal clear. Chelsea get a proven top keeper, and Ter Stegen gets the minutes he needs before a huge international tournament.